news coming in that Alexis Sanchez is having a medical tonight at Old Trafford ahead of that proposed move from Arsenal. It was only a few days ago on this very show you were making a good case for him to join Manchester City. So your reaction that he's chosen the red side of Manchester?
I'm delighted. Can't wait to see him get out on Old Trafford, and hopefully he can be the turning point in Manchester United's fortunes in terms of winning some silverware this season.
I wonder what the decisive factor was to choose United over City, Rio.
Money may have been a part of that.
I think it might have been. So the reported wage is £450,000 a week, which again brings players' wages into the
Surely
spotlight.
Surely it has to be more than money, though.
He's going Man United,
he was
man.
Going,
it's not like he's going to China.
No, of course.
He was going to get paid.
I think the issue for a lot of people,
he's going to get paid.
I think the issue for people is whether he gave his word to Manchester City before he decided to go to Manchester City.
I think that's the big.
That's more of a problem, isn't it? Don't you think?
To City, but it is a good argument because it's not like he's turned down City to go to China like other players. He's gone to one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest in the world, in Manchester United.
But he still made a decision that feels to a lot of football fans predominantly based on the money he's earning a week.
Also, if you look at it the other way, of course money's involved, but it's more of a challenge. If he comes here as a great team that he kind of maybe fits in around all these players, here at Manchester United, there's no doubt that they need an uplift. They're 12 points behind. They need the uplift. He could be that man.
The thing is, if he wanted more money, he'd just stay at Arsenal for the next 3 months. So it can't just. I'd hate to think it's just financial reasons. There has to be mitigating circumstances about this deal, and hopefully it'll come out and it'll come out in the next couple of months. But it can't just be financial.
Have we reached the point now, though, in football where players are simply earning too much money?
Throw that one straight to me.
Frank.
It's supply and demand, isn't it? Let's get it right. The TV deal, the latest one, changed everything. It changed the landscape. If clubs are willing to pay it, then that's it. You can't expect a player to turn it down. But I will say, if you are at that top end of earning the money, you have a responsibility to really produce the goods. I'm completely behind Messi, Ronaldo, earn what you want because they really produce and they're worth every penny. But if you are talking about players that are maybe sitting on the bench or not really affecting things and winning things for their club and they're on stupid money, it's a slightly different argument.
Of the top 10 highest paid sports stars in the world, not a single one of them plays in the Premier League. Yeah. There's a lot of talk about footballers' wages. There's less talk about pop stars. There's less talk about movie stars. Yeah. If this club, if Manchester City are generating hundreds of millions of pounds from the TV deals, from the fans coming through here, from the sponsors, the reason for all that money coming into the game is the players, right? So isn't it right that the players are the ones that get that money? If not, it's just going to be siphoned off by hedge funds and CEOs and owners.
You're completely right, but at the same time, players don't set the rules and the benchmark for the prices. Like Frank said, it's the TV rights, the clubs are paying the players. But again, it strikes me that footballers always get hammered for this situation. Is it because it's a working class sport? Is it because a lot of the people come from backgrounds with not as much money, not less affluent backgrounds? Because I don't see golfers who earn huge money getting called out for the wages that they're earning. Motor racing drivers. These guys don't get called out for what they earn on a weekly or yearly basis. The difference is just, it baffles me a little bit. Yeah, listen, a nurse, a fireman, a policeman, they deserve to earn more money than any sportsman on the planet. But it's just that we're lucky that we were born into an industry that pays so well.
With young players, what I was saying before, I think, was that they're producing the goods. So Sanchez at Manchester United, if it's a success, is the reason why Manchester United are a global success. Younger players need to develop, and then they earn their top money for me when they are producing at the top.
I don't think we mind the big players, the players who excite us, the players who score the goals. As Frank mentioned, the Ronaldos, the Messis. You don't begrudge them anything because they're what we want to see. That's what we're paying our money for. It's the other players who maybe don't try as hard.
Andrew says, stars of the show, yes, but the majority of the Premier League and Championship players are anything but stars.
Possibly,
and I'd
go along with a lot of that.
Yeah, but also, I think for young players, I think to protect the game and protect the young players, before you even make a first-team appearance, there's young players getting 25, 30 grand a week. Now, that's a problem because that affects their hunger to actually go out there and improve their game on a day-by-day basis, which we were always hungry to kind of get better, striving to get better contracts as kids, given small increments when we were younger. Well, now, before you kick a ball for the first team, you're almost a millionaire.
You don't need to play, do you? That's the sad thing.
That's the problem.
You can be rich and wealthy without even having to play the football, which is the problem, really.
Fine.